Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Welcome to Chatlijam, the show where I talk about whatever the hell I want because it's my show, not yours. Hi. I'm making another one. I actually enjoy sitting in front of a camera and talking. Who would have thought that I like hearing the sound of my own voice? Um, yeah, so I know I wanted to record again, and I'm currently recording this on the 27th of December. You know, day after Boxing Day. Peak party time. I've no life. Um, but instead I'm recording this, and the video should come out on the 30th of December, if I've done my calculations correct. Uh, you know, right before the new year, and I thought, what better thing to record than what I'm bringing to 2026, energies, values. Um, so this video is what I am bringing in to 2026 and what I'm leaving behind in 2025. It's an unscripted video where I just wrote down a couple of things because going forward, I think, I don't know, maybe once a month, if I keep this up, I'm gonna do like a video where I actually do some research because it's the videos that I enjoy watching, and also, I don't know, I want to be knowledgeable about the stuff that I talk about. And if there's one thing I'm knowledgeable about, it's myself. So this was an easy video, but I should have done more research for the diversity video. It was stepping my toe into the water, and I might do like a part 2 where I look at statistics and stuff, but right now I'm learning. I'm learning about my style, I'm learning about my content. Also, I think Chatlijam is always going to be in PJs because comfy, whereas Reviewly Jam I'll dress up for. It's the vibe. So let's get into it. First things first, what I'm bringing into 2026 is a bit of mental self-care. It's been the toughest year of my life. It's been really tough. And I'm not gonna let go of that. Like, my life isn't magically going to become better on January 1st. But it doesn't mean that I can't work on it. You know, I've started doing work already, but, you know, 2026 is about Sam. For Sam, obviously. It's not about Sam for everyone. It can be. But yeah, for Christmas I asked for and received this book, How to Heal an Anxious Attachment Style, because A, it's ruined relationships and friendships and stuff in the past, but B, I want to respect myself enough to notice these things, notice that I have an anxious attachment style. And, you know, I think that in order to do that, I need to actually do some work on myself. And so, you know, it's something really small, but it's something I'm going to try and do, if not every night, most nights, which is just do a page of this book. I started it last night, where it gives you like reasons and you have to circle things. I did maybe like 5 pages last night, but it was the first night doing it, and it's kind of those pages all like intertwined, and then I'm going into the next section tonight, and you know, there's about 200 pages of work here. Some of them are essay questions, some of them are tick boxes, you know. I can't say I recommend it because I've only started it, but last night felt like not a breakthrough, but I was actually thinking about myself. And, you know, it was nice to think about me and what my problems were, because sometimes we get so bogged down in everyone else's problems. And this year, I'm going to take care of myself mentally. And that doesn't mean that there are going to be no bad days, but I'm going to be more prepared for those bad days. I'm going to figure out what works for me. I have started walking a lot more, less over Christmas. But it's Christmas. I've been busy. When I say walk, I mean 3-hour walks, because that I find helps. I walk down a place where there are very little houses, and I sing and I belt songs, and there's this freedom in that. Don't get me wrong, I probably look like a madman. I look bizarre, but it helps me, and I'm learning that not every social faux pas has to be a faux pas. I'm comfortable looking a little silly sometimes. AKA when I'm in the middle of the street belting a song almost in tears. But it feels good. And so I'm gonna do that work to feel good about myself, feel a bit more secure in my attachment style and in myself. But, one thing that I'm trying to leave behind in 2025 is being quite self centered. Because I think I am a little self centered. And that's not always a bad thing. But for me, it has become one where I will actively I will actively steer conversations towards myself with friends and things. And as much as, you know, I there's a time and a place for it, and I'm not saying that no conversation should be about me, because of course, you have to talk about yourself, you have to have some kind of release. But I've noticed that it's become quite a regular occurrence where I'm not really allowing people to talk about themselves, and I can't really make it through an entire conversation without bringing up something of myself. Which, again, not always a bad thing, but I have so many friends that I'm so lucky to be with, and I'm so lucky to have in my life. But I'm not lucky because they're there for me. I'm lucky because they're wonderful, wonderful people. And the reason why I want to leave being that kind of self-centered behind in 2025 is I want to hear about these people's lives. I want to hear about their day-to-day lives, because they are wonderful. They're interesting people. That's why they're my friends, because I find them fascinating. And I want to fall in love with my friends, because I am in love with every single friend. But, you know, I, you know, like, I want to fall in love with my friends. I'm already utterly head over heels for them, but there is so much I don't know about them. And there are things that I don't have to know, but bringing in the secure stuff, I like being part of my friends' lives, and I'm not going to apologize for that. Nor do I think anyone should. And I think being a little in love with your friends is normal, because they're the people that pick you up when you need it the most. Another thing that I am bringing into 2026 is dressing better for small outings. It's a small thing, it's a personal thing, but I always like fashion. I like walking down the street and feel confident in my outfit. But one thing I've noticed, I've been doing the past since COVID, I guess. Scary. But for, past 5 years, it's especially because I think during the lockdowns, it became so normal to see people dressed up in whatever. It became normalized in like Zoom meetings, and then like walking around my town, I saw people in whatever clothes they fancied that day. And I never kind of, because that was such a time of growth for me. I was just about 16, 17, 18. And so I was learning to become an adult. It was that stage of progress in my life. And so I developed a habit of, say, I just needed to go to the shop to pick up a couple of things for dinner or snacks. Um, I would throw on baggy jogging bottoms and a hoodie and stuff that didn't match, which, hey, if that's your thing, I'm not judging you. But I care about what I put on my body. I like fashion. I like looking good. And I find that putting effort into what I wear makes me feel better on the inside, because that's my little bit of self-care. So one thing that I'm going to bring into 2026, it's not a hard and fast rule, because I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. It's controversial, but I find that for myself anyway, with New Year's resolutions, there's so much pressure. And so one thing that I started in 2025, and this came from a comment that I saw online. I cannot remember where from. If I do find it, I will post it in the description, I guess. But it was maybe May, so it'll be hard to find. Is, why do you wait to start things at New Year's when you can just start them today? And that kind of hit, because there's always this big expectation that you're going to be a new year, new you. But rather, there's less pressure if you do it in, say, June, halfway through the year. That's still 6 months of good work. Like, I've spent the past month walking and, working on myself. But if I'd left that a month, think about where I would still be. Like, don't get me wrong, it's probably very little progress, but it's still something. And so what that means for dressing better for small outings is, it's something that I don't want to be, not ashamed to go out in public, but I don't want to be like ashamed to go out in public. But I always feel more content about, walking down a street when I'm wearing something that, it doesn't have to be like a pinstripe suit, but just something that makes me feel good about myself. And I've started buying clothes that have a bit more personal meaning to me. So it's not just necessarily hand-me-downs and things. I'm buying clothes that fit me, and, or at least fit me in a way that I want to be. And so I'm feeling a lot more content about outfits. And one piece of advice I have for anyone that's watching, all one of yous, is, I have a few staple outfits that I know I like. And on days when I feel terrible and I know I have to leave the house, but I really don't want to, I can throw on one of those outfits and, it doesn't magically make you feel better, but you're not judging yourself for wearing an awful outfit. So, a couple of pre planned outfits, and then on days when you feel better, you can experiment and you might find another outfit, but staple, simple outfits, maybe just a hoodie and jeans that you think you look good in, good in, or maybe a pop of color that you wouldn't usually do, that you can just throw on and know that it suits you. No one's ever going to tell you that you can't wear an outfit again. There's sometimes an expectation for you to constantly be switching up outfits, but A, that's not sustainable mentally or financially because you're constantly buying new clothes and keeping up with trends. I have started just developing my own style. And some of that is trendy, some of it is not. I have maybe 15 different flannels or cardigans and or not hoodies, but pullovers that I can just throw on with a pair of jeans and I feel good about myself. And so that is my goal for 2026, is to just wear an outfit that makes me feel like myself. Now, one thing that I'm leaving behind in 2025 is your friend being your therapist, or at least my friends being my therapists, because there is a time and a place. Don't get me wrong, this has been the worst year of my life, and my friends have helped me be here today to record this video to keep me alive. And there is a time and a place, and I'm never going to say that I didn't need that help or my friends weren't there for me, because they were, and they've been amazing. But I'm at a stage now where, a lot like me being self-centered, people, it's awful, but people get tired of your issues because there's only so much you can say. And yeah, if you want to just go round and round and round, that's incredibly fair. But these people aren't your therapists. A, they can't give you actual advice if you're really struggling. There are mental health charities, and I know that there is a mental health specialist in my local GP, and I'm going to see them soon because, it's been tough. Please don't feel like you're a burden because you are reaching out to someone who does this for a job, because it's their job to make you feel better. And you're not taking it away from anyone else. But your friends can't do that for you. And if that is all you talk about, then they are not your friends. And that's a harsh truth that I'm learning, but there comes a point when they just aren't your friends anymore and they're your therapists, and it's nice to have a little bit of normal conversation, some banter, some gossip, a good wee bitch sesh. And, if that bitch sesh is about your problems, that's brilliant. 2 birds with 1 stone, but it's not always going to be that. And you are friends. That is not your friend. They are not a friend of yours. It's a relationship. Friends are a two-way street. There has to be effort on both sides. Care about their life because they care about yours. And if they don't, then that's not a friendship. lose them. But one thing that I'm bringing in to 2026 is facing rejection. It's a big one for me, where I really thought until this year that I was good with rejection. Yes, rejection will always hurt. That is a fact of life. And I personally am talking about professional rejection. I want to be an actor. And I got rejected from every single drama school that I applied to this year. I got one recall audition, and that was it out of the 10, 12 schools that I applied to. I got one, and the other 11 were straight up rejections. And it was tough, and I was upset, and I'm always going to be upset, but I'm gonna figure it out. I am auditioning for things this year that are small, that are big, that are drama schools, that are actual jobs. And for the first time, I feel slightly free, because I don't mind if I'm rejected. I want to be accepted, of course I do. But I have an audition in January that I fully don't expect on getting. If I do, it's great, but I'm going there for experience. I'm going there to, you know, do things for myself. And, you know, I'm just going to keep putting myself out there, because that's all you can do. But this translates into relationships and friendships, and, you know, even if you're not an actor, like applying for jobs, where you just have to keep trying, because with relationships, not everyone is the perfect person. And with friendships, not every friendship is built to last. But that doesn't mean that you don't learn something from everything, because you do. You learn. It's like a baby. They learn from watching, but we learn from doing. We learn from our failures. We learn from our successes. But we're always learning. That's what our brains are built to do. One thing that we don't always learn the most brilliant things from, and one thing I'm leaving behind in 2025, is my screen time. It's bad. It's bad. If I'm working, my phone is right beside me whilst I am with customers, when I'm behind the counter. Don't worry, I'm not using it whilst there are customers, but it's always there. I always see a notification if it comes up. And yes, I'm going to leave it there, but only for work notifications. And there will be things and times that I just need to be on my phone, or I want to be on my phone. I don't want to just be phoneless, because there is joy in social media. There is joy and dopamine, but I'm trying to be less addicted to it, because I will wake up and I will scroll for the first hour and a half of me being awake, simply to get a rush of dopamine. And yeah, that's healthy for a lot of people. For me, it isn't. I'd rather be up and doing stuff, but it's gonna be a process. And I haven't worked out quite the best way for me to do it. Maybe I'll take you along with me. Ooh, that could be a fun idea. I'm thinking of broadening Chatlijam. I already have an idea for a video about my acting process, and so maybe another one can be a week with no phone, which that'll be hell. No, there will be exceptions to that rule, where if I have to research or do some work and stuff, but a week with no phone, I might do it. It will kill me, but I'll have to. Ooh. but I'll have to, set boundaries that are achievable. One thing I could do during that, one thing I'm bringing into 2026, I'm getting better at this, is inviting friends out or in. Doesn't have to be big, it could just be coming to mine and watching a film. But I have friends that I barely see. A lot of my friends are friends I barely see. And part of that is they live in different countries. I have friends in Australia, I have friends in Germany, I have friends in London, I have friends just in Belfast, which is a 2-hour train journey, which less of an excuse, but they're from all over. But there's a reason phones exist. And a lot of my friendships live and die on a phone. But not all of them have to, particularly the ones that live here in Northern Ireland. And so I want to, make plans with people, even if they're in the distant future. I think me and a friend are already going to see a show in London. And so I'm excited about that. I want to just make plans because I love my friendships. I'm content with the way they are, but as I was saying earlier, it's a two-way street. And, who knows what type of friendship it is until you bite the bullet and ask them to do something with you. And I want to get more comfortable with asking friends to go and see a film or go and see a theatre show, which I'm doing a lot of, or go for coffee. I have a friend that they're not a recent friend, but recently we've become a lot closer, where we just meet up every couple of weeks for a coffee and sit and bitch, and it's mostly me bitching, C point self-centered, and I love it. I love seeing my friends in person, as much as it's sometimes awkward because there's only so much you can say. I love being with my friends so much. I want to see them more. I want to be with people more. Because sitting alone in your room all day gets lonely, and also they're my friends. I love them. What that doesn't entail, and one thing I'm leaving out in 2025, ooh, these segues are getting mwah, is excessive spending. I have a habit. I'm nowhere near the worst person I know at excessive spending. I'm quite frugal. Especially recently, I've stopped buying as many snacks and things and little pick-me-ups after work. I still treat myself, but the big one is clothes because I have expensive taste. I don't like it either, but my bank account especially doesn't like it. And so I'm trying to be more frugal. I'm trying to work with the clothes that I have, particularly older clothes, because I'm on a weight loss journey and I'm have loads of clothes from when I was thinner. One thing I got for Christmas is a mini sewing machine. I'm going to teach myself to sew, which will be great because if I lose weight or put weight on or need to adjust clothes, I can. And it means that I'm not having to buy clothes that fit me all the time. Because my weight fluctuates a lot and very quickly. And so I can alter clothes and make new clothes. And yeah, it might be more expensive, it might be cheaper. Who knows? But I'm trying to spend less. Yeah, I'm bad for it. And one thing I used to be really bad for, which hopefully I'll control this year, is just taking a wee trip to London. I was going to say somewhere, but it's always London because I love London. It's my home. But I'm saving up to move there. So I can wait for a couple of months and just move there instead. That seems better, doesn't it? Um, However, one thing I need to prepare myself for if I move to London, one thing that, if anything else, I want to bring into 2026, it's finding comfort in being alone. That seems really big and scary. But, you know, as much as I love my friends and everyone in my life, I'm moving to a different country where I will end up being more alone than I've ever been. And that's scary. And so I want to find a bit of comfort and joy in being by myself and just not bed rotting, but not just lying in bed, particularly as someone with depression and anxiety. Ugh. But yeah, I have depression and anxiety, and so being alone sometimes feels like the worst thing in the world. And I want to find a bit of comfort in knowing that I can be alone and I don't have to be surrounded by people in my life, because there will be times when, I could be struggling and no one will be there. And it's not that they don't want to be there, but they're busy. Everyone has their own life, which is scary. Not people having their own lives, but knowing that there will come a time when I will feel low and reach out, but people can't be there for me. And so this year I'm trying to, spend time alone. Not with my thoughts yet, but be by myself. As I said, I'm walking for like 3 hours a day, which means that I walk an hour and a half in one direction and I'm in the middle of nowhere. And all I have is music and walking. And that's really helping, actually, because I can't run from the thoughts, because I can't go on my phone and distract myself. All I can do is keep walking ahead. And it's a little thing, but it's really helping me to not flee from those thoughts and to actually make progress. Because the brain is a scary place, and just when you need it the least, it will throw something at you that is terrifying and hurtful and sets you off like a bomb. And I think that I need to figure out what the right wire to cut is to stop the bomb from exploding. I'll leave it on that. A bit more lighthearted, still not incredibly. I left it on this really big, oh, I'm depressed, but just a little bit of an open chat. Let me know what you want to bring into 2026, what you want to leave behind. Like, comment, subscribe. No one's watching this, so I don't have to say that. I am just copying what other people do. But I'll see you next time, because this is the thing I'm doing now. Toodles.